For many years, the Danes had passed stories down through generations. This is the story of Beowulf, through his triumphs and ultimate death. We lay our scene in Hereward Hall, built by King Hrothgar, descendant of Scyld Sheafson. Hereward was once jubilant and filled with delighted friends of the kingdom. The Golden House was home to many, for there were feasts, gatherings, and celebrations, or as the kids like to call it, raves. These raves were happy and loud, something that Grendel did not like. Grendel was the typical angsty teen living down the street from the hall. She wanted to be left alone in solitude to enjoy a good book. But night after night, Grendel was ripped away from the developing plot of the latest novel she had acquired by the cheerful sounds echoing from Hereward. As Grendel became more angry, she decided the best way to cope was to egg and vandalize Hereward. Hrothgar's reign of awesome parties had come to a halt because nobody wanted to deal with an egg smashed on their car. Hrothgar suffered for a long time until Beowulf came to help.
Score, the pizza's here. Who are you?
I am a retainer of Halak. Beowulf is my name. If your lord and master, the most renowned son of Halfdane, will hear me out and graciously allow me to greet him, I am ready and willing to report my errand.
Dad?
Oh, Beowulf, I knew his father Ecgtheow. We spent a lot of time with their family when you were little. You know, his grandfather was Hrethel the Geat. Anyway, he is a great kid, sent here to help us with Grendel.
My name is Beowulf. I've heard of your problem, and now I mean to make a math of Grendel, settling the outcome in a single combat.
That's nice, sweetie. We really just need you to help. There's this kid, Grendel. He lives down the street, and he keeps egging our house when we have people over. We can't have this.
Dude, literally, why are you even here? This is not your side of town. Grendel is not a problem to you at all. You know what I think? I honestly think that you're here to get attention. Everyone knows the story of your swim race against Brekka last summer. He was the captain of the swim team and clearly faster than you, but you were so vain that you tried to outswim him. You only made a fool of yourself, and you are about to do it again. The neighborhood watch and the police have both tried to stop Grendel, but both failed. What makes you think that you can be the only one to stop the hooligan?
Listen, I won the race fair and square. I am the superior contender. I am stronger and wiser than any other person or beast that dares to challenge me. And how dare you challenge me? You need me more than I need you. If you were half as bold as I, you would not even have a problem with Grendel. Even if you did try to stop her, you probably couldn't, and that's why I'm here.
Later on, Wealth Rose enters the party. She greets and mingles with all of her friends. She brings in more drinks and fills people's empty glasses. She tries to keep the celebration going, for they are rejoicing that Grendel will no longer haunt their hall. She finally makes her way to Beowulf and fills the champagne glass.
I had fixed purpose when I put to sea. As I sat in the boat with my band of men, I meant to perform the uttermost when your people wanted or perished in the attempt, in the fiend's clutches. And I shall fulfill that purpose, prove myself with the proud deed, and meet my death here in the mead hall.
That's nice, dear.
The party started to wind down and everyone began to go to bed. Hrothgar leaves the keys to the house with Beowulf.
Tonight I will stop Grendel. I will not use tools in order to even the playing field. But for now, I will sleep, and I will wait for the youth. And by tomorrow, this madness will be ended.
Grendel was simply hurt and alone. Nobody seemed to understand her. She was never invited to any of the parties that the Danes threw, and was isolated from the rest of her neighbors on the street. The noises of joy and togetherness just reminded her that she was different and an outcast to the rest of them. She sneaks out of her house, dressed in black, to blend with the night. She creeps her way down the street, eggs in hand. She reaches Hereward, pulls back her arm, and throws the first egg. Beowulf awakes, but lays still, waiting for the proper moment to strike. Grendel throws another, and Beowulf jumps to action, capturing Grendel and turning her over to the police.
As everyone gathers for a victory feast, congratulations are given and stories are told.
We have gone through with a glorious endeavor and been much favored in this fight. We dared against the unknown. Nevertheless, if you could have seen the monster himself.
Beowulf, we know, we were there.
Anyway, let's help clean the egg off the house, and we can hold one of the best banquets ever hosted in Hereward.
During the banquet, Beowulf was rewarded with gold breastmail and a helmet. His sword was held only as an object of honor, and everyone drank at ease. Spirits were high, songs were joyous and numerous, and the hall was filled with nothing but friendship.
After celebrating Beowulf's victory all day, the partiers finally went to bed, satisfied with the defeat of Grendel. When all of the lights were turned off and the last person's eyes shut, there was a sharp knock on the door. Hrothgar drags himself out of bed and shuffles to the door, which is already swung open by an aggressive-looking woman. She was standing in the doorway, looking frazzled and upset. Her eyes were darting around the room. She marches over to Hrothgar and accusingly said,
"How could you do that to Grendel? She has her whole life ahead of her, and you ruined it with involving the police. It was one mistake that she made because she felt left out."
Hrothgar was shocked that this woman came to put a damper on the festive day and stood upset and confused in the doorway. The following morning, Hrothgar sent his victor, Beowulf, to challenge the strange woman. Beowulf gathered his wits and ventured to find Grendel's mother. Once he found the woman, they began to argue. Grendel's mom began to yell at Beowulf for ruining her child's life. Beowulf responded by saying that her child just wanted a happy family and to feel loved. Beowulf told the woman that by egging Harrowit, she was crying out for her mother's attention. Grendel's mom just looked at Beowulf. She was in shock. Beowulf simply turned away, knowing she was defeated. He returned to the house to relish in his second victory and to prepare for his cross-town journey.
Beowulf, I do not know how I can ever repay you for the good you have done for my home. You are like a son to me. You are welcome to stop by at any of our future celebrations. Just remember to stay humble and not let success go to your head, son. Have a safe ride home.
Upon Beowulf's arrival in Geatland, he finally received the recognition he always deserved. Years of successful battles in both fortunate and unfortunate circumstances had left him in the position of king. And now Beowulf is faced with his most difficult challenge yet. The people of his neighborhood are in great danger of the mighty silver beast, the creature that glides over the road and whips around corners. The speeding Ford escape terrorizes the people of Beowulf's neighborhood while keeping guard of the treasure hidden in its trunk. Beowulf realizes he must kill the beast.
I risked my life often when I was young, but now I am old. As king of the people, I shall pursue this fight with the glory of winning. If the evil one will only abandon his earth fort and face me in the open.
Beowulf enters the street head-on, no coward path. Beowulf runs down the street until he is face to face with the beast, and gets run over by the car.
Go now quickly, Wiglaf, under the grey stone where the dragon is laid out, lost to his treasure. Hurry to feast your eyes on the hoard. Away you go. I want to examine the ancient gold. Gaze my fill on those garnet jewels. My going will be easier for having seen the treasure, or less troubled letting go of the life and lordship I have long maintained.
Wiglaf quickly obeys the command of his war-weary lord. He returns to Beowulf with the treasure, and Beowulf mutters his last words to Wiglaf.
You are the last of us, the only one left of Wigamund. Fate swept us away, sent all of our brave, highborn clan to their final death. Now I must follow them.